Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be talking about the duality of the zodiac sign Pisces, and yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Now, somebody with the sun in Pisces, this is going to be more connected with the basic character, the moon, of course, on an unconscious level, and the ascendant qualities that are expressed most blatantly, outwardly, and very readily, very easily expressed. Now, Pisces, like Gemini, can be very vacillating and fickle. Now, Pisces can have very wide mood swings. They could also be very cryptic and nondescript. Gemini's changeability, though, I would say is more attributed to changes of their mind and how they may think about something, someone or something. Now, Pisces, a lot of this is connected with their confusion, I think, as well. Now, Pisces could also be very ambivalent, perhaps even a little bit wishy-washy. They are like the fish going in the wishy-washy thing. I think with Pisces, a lot of it is the mind may say yes, but it's like the body may not feel it's able to, or they're not willing to take action on what they want to do, because Pisces, of course, can be connected with dreams or fantasies. A lot of Pisces will be more about dreamers, more about fantasizing about something than actually doing it. So they may act like they're going to do something in one moment, and then the next they just may not follow up on it. So for that reason, I think now, again, Pisces can be very ambivalent. They're the fish symbol. Fish going. I mean, they're like that. A fish going in opposite directions. Could be very symbolic of their nature. Now, Pisces. Many astrologers theorize, including myself. Some may not concur, but I agree with this. Is that they are the amalgamation of the previous 11 zodiac signs. Now, this is another reason. This is a reason they could be very vague and very nebulous, very hard to read. Now, Pisces' changeability and their duality, I believe, could be tied in with their impressionability as well. I mean, Pisces will often mimic or replicate the behavior of others, and they are exceptionally environmental, very sensitive to their environment. Now, and I think and the thing about Pisces is, and especially if they're in an adverse environment, they have to be, of course, very careful, because they may be copying the behavior, may not even be consciously aware of it or cognizant of it all the time, but they have the greatest propensity, I believe, of all the zodiac signs to do so. Now, and of course, when you're copying someone's behavior, you could be changing from who you actually are. And I think too, the moods can be really they are the ones. I mean, Pisces, sadly as well. I call that the many Pisces sadly could have. I'm not saying all or stereotyping by any means, but many could have what I call that traitorous syndrome. And I think when you look at the sign Pisces, I think they are the sign that could be most synonymous with betrayal and treachery. And Pisces, sadly, I think of all the zodiac signs, can be the one most likely to turn on another person. It could be for various reasons. I think Pisces can be easily pressured and coerced by others to disconnect from certain people. Like it's funny because when I was in high school, I had a friend of mine that had a former friend as a Pisces moon, and one day it was just like inexplicably he just basically did everything but stop talking to me completely. I mean, the communication with us was not eradicated completely, but it was just like out of the blue. He stopped talking with me. I think he didn't see me as one of the cooler kids, so to speak, and he was more concerned about his precious reputation than he was about being a true, loyal, steadfast, and persistent friend. So the thing about it is, what Pisces, the point I'm making is that when Pisces, their changeability can often be connected with what others really about. It could be kind of coercion from others, or being persuaded by others. to perhaps disconnect from certain people because they feel they may get maybe backlash from those people if they don't listen to them, and they just would rather go with the majority in a lot of cases than as opposed to go against what they say. And Pisces, sadly, is just there's something about them that often lacks that independence in them, in terms of their thinking and the way they act. They are more influenced by others very strongly in extraneous surroundings, I think, more so than any of the other zodiac signs. Now, thing about I've talked about this before, that I do believe, okay, like you have actors and actresses that could be drawn to roles, I believe, that correspond with their astrological energies, whether it could be on a conscious or subconscious level. Now, I think the same could apply to singers and songwriters as well. You could have people that you look at. I think a good example is you look at the late, great, legendary singer John Denver. Is certainly no exception. Now, he had a Gemini rising and Pisces moon. He sang a song called, I believe it was called Looking for Space. And now in the lyrics, there was something like he needed to find out who he was. And it would not surprise me if John Denver actually felt he was a complicated person and very and somewhat very cryptic and difficult to decipher. Gemini energy could be difficult to understand because they could be very contradictory, and Pisces again could be very complicated and complex. I think Pisces actually could very well be the most complex zodiac sign. They are, because again, I do believe, I subscribe to that theory, so to speak, that they are the amalgamation of the previous 11 zodiac signs. So this is, and then of course you have John Denver with that Capricorn. I know he has Capricorn Sun and Mercury. He had a very introspective nature as well, I would say. So anyway, the thing about it is, and I do believe, that you have people that are singers, songwriters, can be connected to the lyrics and to songs that do correspond or correlate with their astrological energies. Anyway, now the thing about it is, you look at this as well. Now, Pisces, another thing that's dualistic about Pisces, I think, in an odd way perhaps, is that, okay, they may very well be the biggest rescuers of the zodiac. They also may have that need to be rescued. Now, Pisces really can have the save the world syndrome, I believe. They often want to rescue whoever they possibly can. And now, sadly, many Pisces can be very passive, submissive, and I think and many of them may also have weakness in character. I do believe they are the weakest of the zodiac signs, and when I refer to that, is I'm talking about the strength of character and really strength of will. I just think as far as their willpower is probably about the weakest of all the zodiac signs, and also they often need others to actually help them out, I believe. Now, Pisces, in a negative manifestation, can really can be very strong or habitual alcoholics or drug users, and they often need others to help them constantly, even though they have this and perhaps have that innate desire to help many other people out. Now, you'll also find, conversely, the thing about Pisces is they could do the opposite and show much self-sacrifice and philanthropy in helping those going through comparable issues, people that may be going through addictions. Now, another interesting duality in the zodiac sign Pisces is that they can be the quintessential deceivers of the zodiac. They could be very duplicitous and deceptive, but they could also be very gullible and easily deceive themselves. Others may exploit their gullibility very easily. I don't think it really takes that much to manipulate the zodiac sign Pisces. If there is a built-in scale on the ground, on the floor, they will be, sadly, the ones that may walk on it inadvertently. If they're like in that jungle, you ever see like those little rope traps that pull, their snares or nets or whatever, it's a rope or a net or whatever it is, and pulls people up near the top of the tree or whatever. I mean, Pisces sadly is that one that seems that would be the one that have the greatest propensity to fall into something like that. And the thing is about Pisces too is that they may be the most apt to hear and believe stories that maybe a lot of people would understand that they would be blatant lies, and Pisces would sadly be the ones that would believe in them more often than not. They often have a very trusting nature. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. Anyway, well, the thing about them too is, and then the thing about Pisces, I would say, another thing that's really ironic, and you have this dualistic quality in an odd way, is that Pisces, I would say, of all the zodiac signs, is the one I would correlate most with drowning. The thing about it is they could actually have the greatest propensity to prevent others from doing so, as they do like to save and sometimes may actually help somebody that may literally be drowning. I was in one time, this was about 35 years ago, I had a Pisces rising friend that may have very well saved my life. I had difficulty staying afloat. And it was a town community pool, and I had trouble swimming. And he went in and he just grabbed my arm and pulled me right. I mean, he got me right out of the waters. And I thought it was just very very interesting that would have a Pisces, someone that have Pisces prominent in their chart, do that. And the thing about it is, the thing about too with Pisces is that they can be, they could be very malleable. They could conform and mimic the person that they are with, their personality and behavior. But the thing is, that is really something about them again, which really, I mean, it's just a very malleable sign. And the thing about them is, like with Gemini, it seems like Gemini can vacillate from one side to another, but Pisces can just have so many, it seems like different, wide divergence of energy and personalities they show others. And the thing about it is they, another part of their, I would say their dualistic behavior is that, again, this could manifest in that they have the save the world syndrome, so to speak, yet they may have difficulty saving themselves. And also, the thing about it is they may also isolate themselves from the world they claim they want to rescue, and can be reclusive. And another an odd contradiction of this sign, contradictory behavior, is that they may be the ones more so than other signs. I think what's interesting is that they could look, it's not really contradictory, it's just very interesting, conflicting behavior, because, or I should say, conflicting energy connected with the sign. They could look different in a photograph often, more so than any of the other zodiac signs average. Look more different in a photograph in contrast to in person, more so than any of the other zodiac signs. I think a lot of this is attributed to the fact that Neptune governs illusion and photography. Now, the thing about it is, another thing about Pisces too, I look at Pisces and Neptune, I would say, I mean, Neptune is, I would say, connected with mental illness. It is, I mean, it's a planet associated with mental illness. It is also, I mean, so I think with Pisces, Pisces may be the sign that might be most susceptible to that. And if you have, of course, mental illness, you could have, I mean, that could cover a wide divergence of mental illnesses. But I mean, it could be like one of those multiple personality disorders, or like a bipolar. So I think, I mean, for those reasons, you could understand why Pisces can be very, I mean, very changeable in their behavior, very vacillating. And I'm not saying all Pisces have this, but I think they may have the greatest propensity toward this. A lot of it, I think, would depend on the aspects, though, that are made to their Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, and also how Mercury is in the chart, and also how their Neptune may be in their chart as well. Now, I understand Mercury isn't associated with the zodiac sign Pisces, but it is connected with thinking, and I think you'd have to look at Mercury as well in the chart. If Mercury is strongly afflicted, and then you have somebody with a Pisces sun, moon, or ascendant, that could be somebody that might have a little greater propensity towards some kind of mental illness. So another thing I think that's interesting about the dual quality of the zodiac sign Pisces is that they are, Pisces more so than the other zodiac signs on average, I believe, have more of a tendency toward mediumistic qualities. The thing about it is they could see sometimes far in the future, but yet they might have difficulty reading people right in front of them in terms of like their character composition and trying to decipher it. Very interesting. And they also are, again, you look at Pisces, they are, it is a sign, of the 12, you have 4 mutable signs, and they're considered the dual signs. You have Gemini, you have, of course, you have Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and Sagittarius. But the two that I think are the most dual are Gemini and Pisces. Those are the two I believe that are the most changeable. I'm not saying Virgo and Sagittarius can't have those dual qualities. They are dual signs. Sagittarius can be very flighty and sometimes dual-natured, I believe. But Virgo is probably the one that's really the most stable, I would say, of the 4. Maybe that's attributed to them being an earth sign. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment on the duality of the zodiac sign Pisces. Stay tuned next time, where I'm going to be giving you my Scorpio January 2019 horoscope forecast. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, a person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.